Hi, welcome back to the in-between, that messy, sacred space between what was and what is yet to be. My name is Camille. We are in the inner landscape. We are learning about the feelings that are associated with change, uncertainty, and rebirth. And today I want to talk about fear. In the in-between, fear is a signal, not a stop sign. In the new design for living, fear is not the enemy, it is the messenger. And like so many other moments here in the in between, the signal and the messenger is asking us to pause, to stop, to ask some questions, and to understand why fear is coming up. In the old design model, we did our best with acronyms like false evidence appearing real. However, in the in-between, we don't really want to categorize anything in a way that separates us from it. So if we say false evidence, that's communicating to us that what we're experiencing, what we're actually feeling, isn't true. And that's not how we move in the in-between. In the in-between, the evidence is real because we are experiencing it. Now, it may not be what drives the car, but we don't dismiss it. We welcome it in. We sit with it. We lean into it to understand what it might be communicating to us and what it might need. And so when you're going through times of change, fear is so natural. Of course, you are going to feel fear. As I've mentioned in some of the earlier videos, a fantastic book to read by Susan Jeffers is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Wow, what a concept. I can feel fear, I can acknowledge it, I can bring compassion to my mind, and I can go forward with it anyway. But before we go with fear, let's just take a moment to sit with it to see if we can understand what it's trying to tell us. And that's why the tool of discernment is super important to have in your toolbox for moments like this, when fear is very present and very real. Why is it very present and why is it very real? Well, once again, we come back to our mind, our egocentric mind that lives in separation, and therefore its sole purpose is to keep us safe, to keep us secure, and to keep us away from any potential pain. And when you can appreciate the job that the mind has, I certainly, once I did, I had greater compassion for it. It's just trying to do its job. And that's why it's so important to learn and understand not just how the mind works, but how your mind works. So you can work with it, so you can bring compassion to it, so that you can help it as you're moving through uncertainty and rebirth. So if you are feeling fear right now, again, let's ask some questions. Is this fear a full stop? Is it a stop sign? Is there something here that's dangerous that could put your life at risk? Is there something that's trying to communicate to you that it would not be in your highest and best good to take that step, to accept that invitation, to make that decision right now? By asking, by tilling the soil with open-ended questions, we start to get closer to what fear is trying to tell us in this very moment so that we can use discernment and know for sure how to respond to it, how to work with it. However, many times during change, fear activates when we're on the threshold, when we are at the edge of our own expansion, when we have truly left a version of ourselves and are in between what we were and what we are becoming. The mind does not like that place and space. It does not like uncertainty, and it definitely doesn't like being suspended in a place where it doesn't know who it is. And that's something that I'm experiencing right now. Without a doubt, I am bringing a ton of compassion to my fear because I really am not who I used to be. I've stepped out of most all of the programs that no longer serve me that I grew up with. And I am now mindfully, in real time, putting my own programs within me so that I can live a life of alignment and fulfillment. And so I know that the fear I feel when my mind is really trying to stop me is not so much because there's something that's dangerous, but because there's something that's new. And that's why it's so important to bring compassion to your mind when it's in fear, because it doesn't know. It just knows what it knew. It knows the past. It knows who you used to be. Oftentimes we'll stay in things that don't serve us anymore simply because we know it. And there's a satisfying element for our mind, even though it's limiting us and holding us back from growth, from a greater version, from a greater life than we are living right now. So the first step is to always bring compassion to your mind. Hand on the heart. I know you're afraid. I have a little fear too, because we can't see everything and we're taking a bold step anyway. When you are willing to speak to your mind, to speak to your fear, to bring compassion to how it feels, to be mindfully and consciously moving through the in-between, moving through the terrain of change, navigating the inner landscape and showing up for all the emotions that are swirling and twirling around you and within you, wow, that is a profound act of self-love. So, is your fear trying to keep you from something that would not be in your highest and best good? Or is your fear kicking in because you're on the edge and you don't know everything yet and it doesn't like that and it's trying to protect you because it sees that newness as something to fear? But these days, when I feel that kind of fear, I remind myself, oh, right, this is not something I need to fear. This is something that's just new. This is something that's coming into form. This is something I don't necessarily have all the answers for, all the instructions for. It's natural to feel a little fear. However, it doesn't have to be the one that makes the decisions. It doesn't have to be the one that decides what you're going to do next. But by bringing reverence to your fear, by respecting your fear, by turning inward and listening to what your fear may be trying to tell you, you will develop a relationship with that feeling like you've never known before. I've been an MC for several decades now, and there's not a show that I do when I don't feel a little fear right before I walk on stage and hit that spotlight. But I've been doing it for so long that when that fear kicks in, I love it because I know I am on the edge. I know I'm about to do something that's expansive, that expresses the fullest version of myself. So I bring comfort and compassion to that fear. I know now how to alchemize that fear into excitement and into a sense of, you got this, Camille. And so these are some of the ways that you can be peeling back the layers of your fear. Do it gently, do it compassionately, do it slowly, and do it with curiosity. Ask your fear, why are you here? What is it you're trying to show me? Are you trying to protect me? We've learned that asking these open-ended questions activates an open field of potential and possibility that gives us information that we may not otherwise have access to. So, if you're feeling fear, it may be just a signal to say, feel it and do it anyway. If you're feeling fear, it may be a stop sign that's saying, hey, this is really not in your highest and best good, and I need you to reconsider this. Whatever it may be for you, you're literally in your fear with compassion, reverence, and a deep respect and curiosity so that you can understand it and ultimately bring it with you as you move through this profound experience that we call the in-between. Thanks so much for watching. Take good care of yourself.